All right, so this is my nanocarbon alloy farm or factory. Uh, so right here, I just have the ingredient plinth to generate the scrap for now. I will end up changing this to an actual scrap factory to produce those instead, but this was just for proof of concept. But basically, these auto arms will pick up the scrap from the scrap factory and they put them on the trade platforms, and as soon as they're full, the next scrap goes onto the storage, which then triggers the storage storage sensor to launch the trade platform. And so this one, first one generates the titanite, second one generates hematite, ammonium, and graphite. So after the trade platforms come back, this one will pull the titanite off and put it into the smelting furnace. This one will take the hematite, put it in the smelting furnace. This one will take the ammonium, put it in the chemistry lab to make hydrazine. And this one will take the graphite and bring it over to this chemistry lab where it mixes with the hydrazine to make the graphene. And the graphene gets routed to this chemistry lab with the titanium from this smelting furnace, comes all the way around here and goes into the chemistry lab. And yeah, that makes the titanium alloy, which gets pulled over to this chemistry lab where it gets mixed with steel that goes into this chemistry lab from iron and the carbon, makes the steel, and that goes in here to make the nanocarbon alloy, which gets deposited into this big extra large resource canister. And to produce the carbon used with the iron to make the steel, we have a little carbon factory over here. So we have these honey pots with the tappers on them. This arm pulls them, puts them onto this platform where they go into the smelting furnace. This arm pulls them off and brings them over this series into the chemistry lab. So the whole thing ends up creating the nanocarbon alloy. But there's just a couple, so similar with the scrap plinths here. I have another one for a couple different gases at the moment, but that will eventually change. Depending on what planet you're on, you can have an atmospheric condenser that automatically supplies it. But if the gas can't be found on the planet, then just use like some sort of storage thing that has a bunch of the medium gas canisters on it of that particular gas. But the main thing I want to do next is change this to be an actual scrap factory instead of the scrap plinths, but it all works out perfectly. So these arms turn off once the rocket goes off from the trade platform, and once it switches, it'll or once these get taken off, it'll start putting the scrap back on. Perfect. Yeah, so it's pretty cool, and I'm looking for ways to fine tune it. Takes up a good amount of space, but it works. So that's the nanocarbon alloy farm.